Hey, it's Boots from Bootsies BookClub and such. I'm just popping over quickly to say, hey, everyone.
Hi, Zoe. And this is Coco.
Oh, hey, Coco.
Hi, Zoe.
Great. We will be wrapping up the book, Dancer from the Dance, next week. And this weekend, we'll be traveling to the beautiful Palm Springs and we'll be laying by the pool and doing a visual and audio wrap up of the novel by Andrew Holleran. How exciting, right?
It's so exciting. And, we've been really on pause with like putting the videos out because we really just needed a moment to kind of focus on all the things that we are bringing to you and that there's so much that's coming. We're so excited about it. But, this week has been so busy that Mr. Boots, he just couldn't get his book read. I read the whole damn thing.
I mean,
And I am gooped, honey. I am goops. The ending was not what I expected, but we won't go there. We'll put a pin in that.
yes, my co-host finished the book before me, and that's totally fine. But sometimes technology is just too many things, and it's like for me and my silly digital, library card that like doesn't work, and the library doesn't actually have the book to hold and check out. Yes, next time I'll just buy the book or check out a book that I can actually carry out. But anyway, moving forward, I'm so excited to experience what you've already experienced,
Yeah,
Coco. And
it's pretty amazing. I can't wait to talk about it. And I just find that book it's just, it's so amazing how it connects to this time. And like when we were younger, and the story took place in like 1976 on, and it still really relates back to like our community and like what happens in those places, in those bathhouses that are around,
don't take me to a bathhouse because I will not come out. I mean, you think of all those, of course, like I understand what you're saying, and it's true, right? And
Not much has changed.
many aspects. What was that?
Not much has changed.
Not much has changed, but it makes me think of like, I don't know, just like living, and whether you're gay or whatever the situation is, it's like there's just so much opportunity in life to just live, experience, learn about yourself and there's like so much in between. And I always think about like, the person who like married, their high school sweetheart or like I don't know, or like had a baby and started a family like from the get, and maybe there's a little bit to admire there, but at the same time, it's like it's so like not balanced, right? It's like the scale is so far on the other side of there's so much that was not experienced,
Mm-hmm.
and and I always think about that person, there may be some in my family,
Mm-hmm.
and cheers to them, right? But anyway, I'm happy that for me, and it sounds like for you that the exploring was exploring,
And
and
it doesn't stop, right? I In the book, I just really made me kind of sad how they just wanted so badly to have this like hetero situation because they thought that that would be easier. And I think it couldn't be more wrong. I mean, if they were acting like they were something else or having a hetero relationship, it, I don't know, it's nothing that I ever wanted. I guess when I hear people talk about that, and I've heard people talk about that in my life, like, oh, I wish I wasn't gay. My life would have been easier if I wasn't gay. And
it's a very
I
interesting
find that
comment.
such a like it's almost and I would wholeheartedly listen to anyone that has that opinion because I think it's another excuse so that someone can say of why they're not happy when that's not really the case. It's probably something else in there. that actually is the issue, not them being gay. It's them, wanting to prove something. There's something there, right?
Truly, there's something there. I mean,
And it's not that they're gay. It's literally that they haven't faced them. They haven't accepted themselves. Truly,
right.
And we've both heard that comment over the years. And it's shocking every time you hear it.
Right. I see that. And, we're blessed to be part of, the chosen ones, right? I mean, we live life exploring, we have our chosen family. And in the book, Malone and Sutherland, are on an adventure together in friendship, in love, and the ups and downs of being a gay man in New York City, around drugs, around prostitution, around HIV and AIDS. I mean, there's so much at risk. And most of the time, their born families are not a huge part of their life. So you see that bonding between two people. You see the bonding in the community, and you see how everybody was there for each other. And yes, that's a huge part of how I lived a big portion of my young life of maybe feeling, shamed from
Mm,
my family, or that also built in shame of myself for some reason. And
mm,
and there's a bit of loss there where I was a little lost in who am I and what am I supposed to do and who am I supposed to be. And thankfully that all is figured out, at some point. And it's the community, it's really choosing your family. And to this day, I have my chosen family that have been in my life for over 20 years now. And and you have that as well. And it's one phone call away, they're there, and we're all there for each other. And
yeah,
sometimes that's more of a bond than you have with your own family.
totally. I've always been such a believer in like how much power like the chosen family, like how much power that holds in how much love is there because it's everyone's coming as they are and then everyone's accepted as they are. And as we evolve, our chosen family, some of them have changed and evolved, and I think that's the point, right? I think that it's also the same as like your like blood family. They some stay close, some don't, and I think that's okay. I think a lot of people go through like a loss of like they feel like there's something missing. Then if you really, really look into it, there's nothing missing because it's nothing that ever was actually needed, you know? It's like whatever's happening right now is supposed to be happening. Whatever happens tomorrow is supposed to happen tomorrow. And if people aren't in your life now, that's okay. There could be another time that they are, and there could never be again. And I think there's beauty in that.
100%. You're always hoping for the more positive result, that the family will come around and family will see that you are who you are, and you're loved, and it's okay to embrace that,
Yeah.
right? And I know people who struggle with that even today and don't feel accepted by family, feel shamed, and have this a bit of a torment inside of them of I'm not accepted. And that's unfortunate, but it makes you grow. It gives you a point of view on life. And and you don't have to be alone through that all. And
Yeah.
I love seeing the adventures of Malone and Sutherland, and just how much they adore each other,
Yeah.
how they love each other, and it's like this like family, and whether they were in love with each other or not. And it's like I have so many friendships like that where like I was so amazed by a friend or someone in my life, and it wasn't necessarily romantic, but it was like adoration of like, wow, you're amazing, like you're there for me, you seem like family. And like that's so powerful when you get to have that in your life with different people, and you see what that brings out in you, and you see an excitement of life, and you feel like everything's actually going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not at the end of the book. We'll wrap this little segment up because we're going to finish up a little bit later, but I'm excited and not excited because I know it's probably not the happiest ending of this story, but I love where it's taken me personally, like, you know,
So
in my mind, and it's been some real honest memories of hard times, and traumatizing times, and there's a lot there.
mhm. Not there to share.
So yes.
Yeah. Life lived. So
And I love how you put it, I really do.
let's put a pin in that because it gets a bit life can get a bit heavy. But in reality, what are you gonna do? You just gotta let it be,
How
right?
you doing?
How you doing? So on a lighter note, would you be Malone or a what's the other guy's name?
Sutherland?
Sutherland.
I would be Sutherland for sure.
I love that for
I
you
mean,
because I'm totally Malone. To the end of the book, what we will be like I feel like I'm alone to the end of the book. It's like his character is so interesting because it's kind of like this, he's a part of everything but actually also like totally outside of it. It's like Sutherland brings him into this like vibe all the time, but yet he in his mind always wants to be outside of it and always wants to be like somewhere like it, like almost not in the scene, not in the moment, like not in that vibe. Or I love that part about him. He's just so like almost mysterious, and everyone thinks he's mysterious because they don't really know him.
right,
He's like he's there, he's sweet, but then he's also like not really super engaged with anyone for like long term except Sutherland.
right. And I love Sutherland's role in, somewhat motherly, and
Mm.
looking out for the children, and
Oh,
gathering
gather,
gathering the kids,
gather the
and
book.
and I see how I grew up as a young gay man, how there were those people like that in my life
Yeah,
who were that figure, right? And then I've noticed in time how I've become that figure, and in certain friendships that I've, been in. And I
yeah,
could see that, for a long time. I hosted a weekly dinner at my house in San Francisco, in the Castro, and my dinner was called Munchie Mondays, and
I love that.
it was a dinner that everyone was invited to, like my friends that I worked with, other hairdressers, friends that I went out with, and you can bring somebody. And the point of it all was to have family dinner. It was to cook, drink, kiki, and be silly and catch up. And it was a Monday. It was a Monday thing, and I had so many good times doing that. And I felt like it felt so amazing when people would just walk through the door, know that they were coming over, know we were gonna eat food, and we were gonna hang out, get cozy, and just like chill, chill out. And that was such a big memory for me. And I just see how that has always kind of been a little piece of my life where I don't know, like people have felt safe, and I've been able to offer a safe
Mhm.
space. So
Yeah, you definitely make people comfortable and make people want to like sit and chill, and it's definitely your vibe.
yeah,
You know, even like when you're working behind the chair, you be like just diving right in. You dive right in, and they just tell you their lives.
they do, you know.
And it's no one else can hear it because they're all like whispering. But you guys are, but you're not whispering. You're totally just in your own vibe, and
Well,
I
there's
love that.
something very special about what we do in life, what we do for a living.
Yeah,
Um,
it's no
it's
joke.
just it. It's something. It's something. It's a gift from God. Like something has given us this gift. You have it too, and you know, it's priceless,
It's
and
just
it's so rewarding.
yeah.
So
There's so much love in it. Like we love it so much, and
it's
that's why
really
we
about the connection.
yeah, and how much connection you can make, and how that also connection evolves and changes, and it's pretty magnificent.
I love it.
Because I love when I wrote a bio recently of us to send somewhere, and I was like, with the combined years of 30 years of hairdressing, and I was like, oh, I was like, I'm not actually gonna put that in, but when I wrote it down, I was like, oh, that's cute. 30 years between us of hairdressing. It's pretty amazing, and you know,
I mean, the numbers are wild.
I
When you think about it, it's like, woo.
feel like we're in a world that is aging backwards. So why not like talk as if time is going backwards? Because it just, I mean, we're moving in time, and it's linear, right? We're in it. We're just in this space living.
Well, let's go back in time to 1989.
Man, what was in 1989?
The movie The War of the Roses with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
What a beautiful transition.
Did you see it?
Yeah, and I haven't seen the original, but I have it pulled up right here on my
Okay,
computer.
so you haven't seen
I haven't
It
seen.
All Began.
No, I didn't know that this was a remake.
Oh yes, The War of the Roses is an iconic, legendary film.
Wait, what is it? Who's in that?
Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. They're the original War of the Roses.
No, I have seen that. I have seen that.
This,
I
yeah,
forgot about that. That epic.
epic, classic. I mean, Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas. You can't get any better than that. And they were
They were
taking
nuts.
each other down.
And
So
Kathleen Turner, I mean, she is just like so epically amazing in her roles.
top
Right?
five favorite actresses.
I mean, easy.
Pussy Willows. Hello.
I just, yes. I love a Pussy
I
Willow.
love a Pussy Willow. I mean,
You want to hear a little something with Pussy Willows? If you spray hairspray on them, they'll live longer. Because
really?
you don't have to put them in water. You can spray. My grandma would do that, and her pussy willows would last forever.
Wow.
The pussy willows were pussy willowing
You know,
because if you put them in water, they start to sprout. I've had the pussy willows up in the house.
there's a fun fact everywhere you turn, you know.
I mean, there's just a trick to everything, honey. Back in the day, it was Aquanet.
My sisters used Aquanet, and I remember those
Same.
cans just so clearly. But it sounds like you and I need to take a movie night and watch the original film.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a very long time.
And of course, today I enjoyed watching The Roses with Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, Benedict was. I feel like he was eating. He was eating the film up.
They were so cute. I mean, they did a great,
Yeah, Olivia was living.
and they were so mean to each other. I mean, they were.
At first, I was like, "Oh, this is just." I've seen people like have this kind of like banter, and it it makes sense. But with them, it just kept evolving. The banter just kept getting meaner and meaner, and it was just like a classic case of like wealth and how like wealth can really like mess people up.
Right.
And then it just comes down to this like fight over nothing.
Well,
You know?
it's a built up resentment, right? And
Yeah.
it's a form of jealousy, and it's a roles changing, and one succeeding and not the other. And in the beginning, it's all, everyone is cheering, they're both cheering each other on. And that's how a relationship is. There's the glory days where it's just, everyone's going to be successful, and we're going to have kids, and they're going to be amazing. And we're both amazing parents. And, we can do anything together. And you see how that can change in real life, right? In a relationship, whatever the case is. If you take a new job, or if you change jobs, or if you lose a job, or if one person is more successful than the other, like, does that really, affect, that person's frame of mind, or, wellness? And you can see how it really took him down when his his like his museum, fell up to pieces in the storm. And he decided to be the stay-at-home dad, and then his wife became the super successful, chef and restaurateur. And he's so resentful of her.
Yeah, just constantly. And he really was like living in his ego too, because there was part where he was running and he was like freaking out because he's just realizing that like he's decided to do something different. And like I don't know, it's like I just I don't understand that, honestly.
And
Especially in that role specifically, because I'm like, you decided to stay home with the kids, then the kids left to do their thing. He could have went back to work and did something. He didn't have to tell her, "Oh, well, you need to. Do you want to switch places?"
well,
After she was already successful, it was like, "How dare you?"
well, it's also interesting. I agree with you that for some reason no one ever mentioned let's get a nanny. I mean,
There's that.
these two were loaded, and I mean, a nanny could have came in at any moment. Yeah, and you're right. He could have went back to work, and he didn't. So like, it's like she didn't see, or she wasn't there, for all these little moments that the kids had. And honestly, the kids were one of my favorite parts of the movie. They were just
Dude,
so cute. They were really funny, and they were like not affected by the craziness of their parents. They were just like, you guys need to break up. We're going to Miami. Bye.
yeah, and it just shows you that like kids and resilience and like also what they see. When they were like when they finally were getting a divorce, the kids called and was like, "Oh my God, we're so happy for you guys." Because the last decade, you guys have been tormenting each other. But like kids are like they see what's going on, you know? And it's really just important in relationships to just like to to show up and just constantly cheer each other on. I mean, like success on either side is success for both, you know? So it's like, I don't know. And I always wanted to be successful, but like if there was a moment where you were way more successful than me, I would be like, hell yeah. I am all down. And I don't really that space that people live in, it's like their ego and like them like not feeling like what they're doing is enough. And I'm like, I know in my life that like I love success, but then I also love like the simple things of like sitting in my garden and like pruning the bushes or like taking a walk or like not really buying that much stuff for myself because I know I don't really need it. You know, it's like those things. It's like, yeah, I could be want all of this and want this grand thing, but I think even if I had all of this and or all of this wealth, I don't know if I could or would want to go there because I feel like it's just so important for as much as you get or it's to keep that balance of like do that thing that humbles you and that makes you feel like you still are know who you are in all of this. Because there was a part where I feel like she kind of lost herself and got so consumed in work.
What's a real test of relationships? And it was at a point where his ego was so high, his
Mhm.
ego was so inflated by his success of architecture and the accolades that he was giving, and hers at the moment was so low, and they basically switched places where she unexpectedly got the food review for the restaurant and instantly got so much recognition that maybe at the beginning she didn't realize that her ego was expanding and his was deflating
Mm,
all at the same time. And maybe that's a hard place to be, but like you said, yeah, it's like you have to, when their egos were already at such extremes, they just went to two new extremes. And from the get, there wasn't, you know, there wasn't there wasn't a hold, there wasn't a grasp on letting go of ego. It was all about it. And I think that's the danger that lies there, right? If you're
yeah.
living in your ego and that's gonna eat everything up.
Yeah, and he was living so much in his ego that even that failure to him was like he couldn't even like go to his desk. He couldn't even do anything. He couldn't even look at it because it he was so embarrassed by it. When
And it was surprising to see her ego inflate from, raising the kids and just being so involved to over time not even being there, for her daughter's, first period, or
oh my
like
god,
not even knowing anything really about the kids. She was just long gone
yeah,
experiencing life and having a great time, but she basically forgot about the family at home.
yeah. And then that balance thing.
But like you said, I think we could do it. I mean, it's like, I mean, I picture you, just you're running off, and you're such an amazing artist yourself. Like, we do so much together, and that's how we want to be successful. But I don't know, it could be a little bit different too. We never know. We can't
Yeah,
plan exactly
it's a
what's going to
constant
happen, but I
evolution.
feel like we'd be here and be very supportive of each other no matter what
And I think
happens.
we're like also this couple specifically was like was not really like open with their emotions. Like even to say sorry was hard. That kind of stuff is I think it's fascinating those relationships where people like have a hard time like apologizing or like admitting when they're like wrong
Totally.
or just like you're able to say without like there was a part in the airplane where she was apologizing, but she was also like making an excuse for what she did, you know?
No, and I have to say, I mean, a big, observance obviously was the amount of alcohol present in a relationship
Yeah,
to an extreme of having such a negative, awful effect, because you see how much anger and hatefulness and really unloving, meanness came out when they were drinking, when they were drunk,
yeah,
when that was some sort of like truth serum, and allowed so many awful things to be said. I can relate to that as well. It's like
yeah,
I stopped drinking for a reason, and that could have been a big change in that relationship. Hey, we're alcoholics, or hey, we're fighting when we're drunk, or this, nothing positive is coming out of that. And that, it's another part of it.
Mhm.
She escaped, getting stoned and like having drinks, and he escaped drinking. And exercising, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know, but
The movie was fantastic. We're really going in on this, but it's like it was really that
well,
the story was pretty intense, but like well done. And
and
totally different than the last one.
right. And you can see that, the comment from everyone that was watching this happen, that was surrounding them, their network of friends, the group. And the comment was they sensed their undercurrent of discontent.
Mm,
And you were watching it,
live.
and
Parts of it were uncomfortable, but like uncomfortable in the way that you couldn't stop watching.
so great movie. I was telling a friend at work, I think if you're in a relationship, you should go see it.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the show,
anyone, go see it.
the TV tie-up vibe be like popping off.
TV tie-up, it don't play
Because
at
to
Cocoism.
me, like relationship wise, the Roses, Four Seasons. What's the other one? There's one more.
Sirens.
Sirens. What else?
I
I
mean,
mean, there's a list out there that is going to be made for you, but not right now because I can't remember the other one. But I
White
really,
Lotus. I mean,
yeah, just like a couple specific movies are just like, I don't know. It makes me like I watch movies and it makes you more aware of like how you are in a relationship,
it
whether
really
it's a
does. It
relationship with
really
you
does.
or with just relationships with other people. Getting in a relationship with our son and like you're like, oh God, is that what I sound like?
It's so real. Relation, like I remember like a long time ago, and again, this could have been due to other things that were taking me places in my head, right? Who knows? But I remember having like jealousy moments of a moment that you and Matthew had that I wasn't a part of,
Mm,
like a long time ago, where I felt excluded, or,
yeah,
and it was like, it's like, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. That's a feeling. And it's like when you sit there and you think about it, or you think about it, but also you don't let go of it.
mm,
That's where the problem is, and thank God, I have come to my senses. And even then it's like, there's no way I can live my life living in jealousy of you and Matthew's relationship, because that would be strange if you felt that with me and him,
yeah.
and whether you see him, make a basket at a basketball game and I don't, like, it's so much to like learn from just those little moments. If you recognize it, like, oh shit, like, why is this standing out to me? Why am I feeling this way? Like, hell no. Like, but you can see, like, even we have friends that, are in relationships, or we're ending a relationship, and you can see how, who I'm talking about, like someone in
The-
the relationship like held on to like something that happened in like one of the first dates they went on, and or someone was treated a certain way from a good friend of somebody's, and just brings this up like during this like breakup situation where you're like, um really, you've been hanging on to this for 7 years, like, no.
So I really feel like the note to all of this is communicate
Communicate
because yeah,
and be honest, it's like, be honest with the craziness that goes on in your own mind, like,
yeah.
that's
I think jealousy comes from ego too, though.
right, a
I think
hundred
it's like
percent.
yeah, it's definitely in that because it's like if you just stop and like close your eyes and think about yourself, literally, like it just if you love that, like good for you, right? But if you don't, like, it's time for you to do some work because we should love this. We should love who we are, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember telling you, like, I'm just not a jealous, I've never been a jealous person at all. Like, it's just, I can't, you know? And it's like, I don't,
Right, and I'm the opposite.
yeah, and like it makes sense though, because like Taurus, Scorpio, like
It's like,
opposite ends of the universe.
right.
But I just, I don't know.
But yeah, I
We're all
gotta
so blessed.
appreciate it. I appreciate you. That's what I appreciate about you. And
I'm not gonna get mad. I wouldn't have got mad for if like you were like jealous because it's like a true feeling that you were going through, and it's like something that I didn't even.
a ridiculous one, but
That's
yes,
the
a
thing
real
that you
feeling.
needed to go through. You have to like, we all have to like go through those things so that we can look back and be like, oh, like I see that, and that's like a huge lesson for you now.
Right.
So
Totally.
all these experiences,
And I could talk to you about it, right? It's like I can
yeah,
and move on from it. It's not anything that's like,
yeah,
but it
that's the
man,
thing.
there's the people that don't or can't, and that's
Yeah,
so. This TV type is letting me have it
yeah,
tonight.
honey, she's
Giving me
emotional. She's
therapy.
this, she's that. She's giving a little boop boop. Oh my god, let's talk about the Emmys. Can't talk too much about it because there's NDAs involved. But I mean,
Again, here I'm gonna cheer you on because I have to say, my husband is amazing and is so talented. And this weekend, I mean, applause,
the surprises
applause,
just kept
applause,
happening.
because I was just like hearing the stories from your Emmy weekend, and I was like, wow, that's
Yeah,
fierce. And I'm so proud of you, babe. And the time of being in LA and the work and the constant, really the constant work is what's really paying off, and your talent is is going to be seen by the world, and you deserve it, and you work so hard, and I was so proud of you all weekend. And yes, Emmys, yes, NDAs.
yeah, it's
And
just all so cute, and we could talk about like one of the people that I did. She was a director on
adolescence.
Adolescence, and they won. And it was just like, last year I had clients that were writers on Shogun, and also just they won. And it's like, to me, it's like these things are so like being a hairdresser, and if you out there that are hairdressers, it's when you get these moments where like you've done someone for an event like this and then they win, it takes it to another level of like, wow, like it's like checking something off of a list. But it's not like check and I'm done. It's more like, wow, like take a moment and be like, and like congratulate yourself for like working hard and showing up, and like sometimes doing things that you maybe that I wasn't really super comfortable with, or didn't feel like I was getting what I deserved, because in the end it's not what our industry is, not what we like, what you deserve. It's what you're willing to like do to like grow and make and build a community and like really connect with the people around you, because the people around you is what really gets you the things, get you the connections, get you this call. All of that happens, get you into a room that you walk in and you see a Desperate Housewives. That's
I,
all I'll say.
and there were no murderers in that building.
No, there
Wink,
wasn't.
wink.
Yes. Bloop, bloop.
That's all I can say. I mean,
Beep.
you have met so many, you know, you have met some really like fantastic people on FaceTime. Or
Very
when
weird.
you're doing a client and you just someone pops up on a FaceTime and you're like, I'm like, what?
And they're like, oh, this is Coco. And they're like, hey.
Hey,
Just
Coco.
always the most random thing. Because when I do see these people again in person, I'm not going to be like, hey, remember me off that FaceTime? But I'm going to be like, hey, because we already met. So, hey.
And I love LA. I have to say, it is so fascinating.
It's interesting how like it being here, like I never was like a super like fangirl person that would like run up to somebody, but like being in these rooms where then I walk in and not really knowing what is gonna happen or who is gonna be sometimes, and you walk in, you're just like, whoa, and like how you can just be like super present in that moment and just be like, wow, like this is pretty cool. And this is like this doesn't happen all the time. And there's many things that happened over the weekend. I'm shocked still because it's just like it's all so shocking.
Well,
Humbled by it for sure.
You are, and that's one of the best parts about you. I'm missing Cocoism the podcast very much.
She's coming back.
And full episodes are coming soon. This is Boots, and I'm here with Coco. And I have to say, it's been too many things.
No. I think that would be you being too many things.
I can see that. So I feel like we should just be too many things
together. We don't normally do this, but where can they find you on socials?
Oh my God, not at Boots Bueno.
Oh my God, quick and to the point.
Right.
And me, Coco Alexander Live. And then together we are at Cocoism 1. Period.
Yeah.
Till next time.
We'll see you guys there.
Here's Cocoism, the song.
In full bloom, Mama Coco sipping tea from across the room. He's so fine. She leaned in like that's your man, no doubt. Then flipped a fan and walked right